Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank ACAMP for inviting LPAC to come down to discuss our journey towards the NCC road. A colleague of mine coined this conversation or this presentation, The Long and Winding Road, and if you're a Beatles fan, you might have picked that up a little bit. But it's a good pictorial or good saying for the way LPAC is traveling through the NCC world. Just a little bit about ourselves. LPAC is located about 2.5 hours north of Edmonton. Our FMA is north of the plant. We manage about 58,000 square kilometers of forest, which is roughly around 6.4 million hectares. Our annual allowable cut, we're allowed to harvest about 2.6 million cubes of deciduous a year and 370,000 cubes of conifer a year, and that's on a sustainable basis based on our annual allowable cut. We employ roughly around 450 people and we contract 650 people. Our product, we produce kraft pulp, and we are the largest single line bleached kraft pulp mill in North America. We produce roughly around 650,000 air dry metric tons of pulp. 90% of that's deciduous, the other is conifer. Our pulp goes to many of our customers, which then goes into magazines, annual reports, and then it also goes into specialty papers such as wax paper. A good example is the paper that's in between your hamburger patties. There's a good chance that that comes from our pulp. Also, when you're at Wendy's or whatever, you see the little Dixie cups there. That could be our pulp. So essentially our pulp is food safe. It's been certified for food applications. It also goes into other specialty papers such as post-it notes, photographic paper. Our pulp, it goes internationally. It goes to places like US, China, goes to Korea and Japan, and also stays within Canada as well through some of the other distributors. In the past, when the mill came online in 1993, our primary focus was to make pulp. And as the years went on in the deregulation of the Alberta utilities grid or power grid, in addition to making pulp, we had an excess energy capacity. So we started selling our power onto the power grid, and we can sell up to about 10 megawatts based on our infrastructure. However, as time goes on, as projects go on, we were faced with the recession. It gave us the opportunity to look into other products. LPAC is a large plant that can produce a lot of different things other than pulp. So we're starting to diversify and starting to look into some of those markets based off the pulp mill. We're still going to continue to make pulp. We're going to sell green power. Actually, we have a project in place right now which will capture any of our waste energy, our waste steam energy, and we'll be able to produce up to 50 megawatts and put that onto the grid. But one of the alternative products that we're going to be looking in is NCC. Why are we looking into NCC? Well, it's an opportunity to make a new green renewable product that can be used to make environmentally appealing products. It maximizes the full production capabilities of our pulp mill and our natural resources by producing a broader, more valuable range of products. So essentially, instead of just making a few things, we can tap off of some of our waste products. But in this case, it would be we'd tap off of our kraft pulp mill. And it's a perfect way to mitigate risk, as a couple of years ago, we got really nailed by the recession and the price of pulp went down. However, if we had opportunities to sell into different markets, that could somewhat mitigate the risk of the recession. In addition, we're a pulp mill, we're making money, we'd like to make money, so this gives us a new market opportunity to generate additional revenue. And it also reinforces our position in the industry as a low-cost producer. And essentially what that means, as a low-cost producer, we can generate X amount of pulp, and we can off-source that pulp into NCC and generate more money for less cost. And it helps us diversify. the beginning of the journey, we're not experts at this, so we have to lean on other outside organizations to help give us assistance and give us knowledge on that. And this is the list of groups that we've been dealing with regards to NCC. However, with every journey, there are bumps in the roads. And the biggest one for us was we were hit by the recession. We did not want to shut our mill down. We did not want to lose jobs or lay people off. So we focused on what we did best, and that was pulp. We also have two big projects that are going on that combined is worth around $100 million. The power expansion project, which I touched on earlier about exporting our energy up to 50 megawatts. But we also did a woodroom rebuild where we processed the timber so that we can actually chip it into chips so that our mill can process them. And that rebuild is to increase efficiencies on the mill itself. However, with all that going on, we still had low-level investigation dealing with the outside organizations like FPI, U of A, Alberta Research Council, or Alberta Innovates. And we continued our journey along the NCC road. There are roadblocks as to the bumps. There's a theoretical market out there. We feel there's still not a really established market yet, but the theoretics are there, and there's excellent opportunities. But we have to do more, we require more verification of markets and what the best applications for that product is. But we also need to move quickly on this as well. And our view is to look at the smaller initial facilities, such as potentially putting a lab-based one at the Alberta Research Council, so we can, instead of spending a whole lot of money on a large pilot plant, we can spend less money on a smaller plant. However, we can have a continuous amount of product going out to the people out there to commercialize it, and they can do their R&D on there. It's risky. This is a bleeding edge technology, potentially. You know, there's a whole line of people that are interested in dealing or going into NCC, but it's always that one, who's going to jump first? And the risk of that is, if you jump first, you also don't want to be the one to crash and people to sort of capitalize on that. Also, there's technological issues. There's acids in the waste stream, sugars, and also timing. We would love to do everything. However, there's our other projects that are large capital projects, such as the power and the woodroom, that makes us adjust our business plan so we can prioritize based on what's going on at that time.